What's up, guys? My name is Aaron, and this is going to be a review on the third season of Silicon Valley. This is a HBO comedy show. It's about this group of engineers who's led by Richard, who's played by Thomas Middleditch. It's about them trying to get this file compression company out, and kind of the trials and tribulations of them trying to get that company out, and the things that they have to go through and stuff. It's really just a batting satire of the tech world and all the things that entail in it. I'm a huge fan of the cast, so I was in from the get-go. I love Thomas Middleditch, TJ Miller, Martin Starr, Zach Woods, just a very talented cast. So I was really excited for the show, and I've loved the past two seasons. I don't know a lot about technology, but this show does a good job kind of explaining it. I didn't think it was an amazing season of Silicon Valley, but I felt like it was a pretty solid one, and the solid season of this show is still a lot better than a lot of shows that are out right now. Kind of a forewarning that this is going to have some spoilers for the second season, just kind of major plot points. I'm not going to get too much in detail, but if you haven't seen the show, I would go watch the show, then come back and finish the review. For this season, I thought the plot was cool, but the ending was kind of flat. Last season, Richard was removed of CEO by the board of his own company, and in this season, Jack Barker, he's the new CEO, but then he kind of makes some questionable decisions as a CEO that lead Richard and his group to try to force him out and try to do their own thing. Meanwhile, Gavin Belson fires his entire division in his own company, just trying to save money. When he fires his entire company, he also fires Big Head, and then that whole decision kind of sets this whole pitfall for Gavin Belson, and he kind of goes through this crazy story in this season. The Jack Barker storyline was kind of weak. I'm glad that they kind of got it out of the way in the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then the rest of the season they were just kind of doing their own thing. I thought, even though Steven Tobolowsky, he was pretty good as Jack Barker, I felt like that storyline was just not that compelling, and I kind of felt like it would be over anyway. I really couldn't get emotionally involved with that part of the season, but as the season went on, I got more into it. But everything about Gavin Belson is just perfect. I don't know a lot about the CEOs and stuff like that, but I feel like this is how a CEO acts in this world. He's just a complete cartoon. He's very childish, very immature. He makes crazy rash decisions. He just doesn't seem like a mentally stable dude, and I loved every single thing about Gavin Belson. I felt like his storyline is just really cool. I thought the ending of the season was pretty mediocre. I don't want to get into spoilers, but I felt like the season was kind of building towards something, and by the time that they got to the last episode, it just kind of wrapped it all in a neat kind of bow, and it just didn't really resolve anything that thematically. Also, I feel like the satire on this show is great. Again, I don't know a lot about this world, but they do a really good job kind of breaking it down and setting up some pretty cool and funny jokes on the show. There's an episode where Richard dates another engineer, and when she does computer coding, she uses spaces instead of tabs, which Richard is a huge fan of. He doesn't like anybody that uses spaces. He thinks that they're a lower person. So I just like that they kind of integrate Richard's natural neuroticism into this aspect of the tech world, and it's really cool to kind of see that type of world. There's also another scene in this show where he has to design a box for the company that he's working for, and then the dude that's doing the designs, he sets up this whole presentation with weird animals in the pictures and weird music, and he's trying to get this guy to visualize what type of animal the box would be and what type of animal he is, and it's just so over the top and so weird. And then I just feel the writers or somebody involved with the show just knew something or had that happen to them, and I just feel like it was a really cool scene, really perfect to kind of capture that world. And also, the acting and characters on the show are top notch. This is one of the best comedy casts on TV right now, for sure. TJ Miller, he plays Erlich Bachman. He's kind of this really confident, arrogant dude, and he doesn't really have a lot of vulnerability or anything at all. He's just all bravado. He thinks he is the best thing on earth. There's a scene where he insults Jack Barker, the dude that became the CEO of Pied Piper, their company. He's so matter-of-factly, and he's kind of just so condescending to him about his age and stuff. He just goes on for about a minute. There's also a video on YouTube where he legit goes on for 3.5 minutes, just coming up with any insult that he can about any type of thing that has to do with age, and TJ Miller just kills it. He just says it with a straight face, and he's just knocking out. I feel like the improv that he brings to the show is just so great. I love TJ Miller. He's just really funny to me. And then Martin Starr as Guilfoyle, I really like his character. He's really like emotionless and just really mean to everybody. It doesn't even need to be necessary how mean he is to people. There's a scene where he wears this hideous jacket to kind of make Dinesh feel embarrassed and stuff. He's really embarrassing to these girls about Dinesh and stuff. When he finally gets some attention based on the jacket, because it's a Pied Piper jacket, a lot of people in the coffee shop that they're in, they kind of gravitate towards him. And then when Dinesh, who's also working with Pied Piper, he tries to butt in and try to get some attention too, Guilfoyle just like cuts him off, shuns him, acts like he doesn't know who he is. It's just so like great to see him just like switch the button and just kind of go emotionless and like not even care about him. It's just really funny to see him do that. Like, I feel like Martin Starr has like a really good grasp on the character. And then I think Zach Woods as Jared is just so funny to me. He's just like very like pathetic, but he's also like kind of positive and proud too. He doesn't know how he comes across. There's a scene where when they tell him that he's homeless, what are you gonna do? He says something like, he has a trick to kind of alleviate that. He says he thinks that his skeleton is him and he thinks that his body is his house. So wherever he goes, he has a home. And I just feel like that's so funny. Like, it's such a sad thing to say, but he says it so like positively and like unashamed of himself. And I just love like how positive he says that line with. And also I like Big Head. Big Head on the show is really funny. He's like this dude that I don't know how he gets to the position where he's in. He just kind of lucks his way into everything, and he's not really that great at anything at all to do with like technology and stuff. He's come into some money recently. He bought his own house, and he has his accountant like kind of look over his finances, and then he says, "Why did you move your pool twice?" And then Big Head just says like, "I thought it was better in one position," and then I look back and I kind of reassess my situation, like, no, it was good where it is. I know better now. The dude that did this design was right. And he just says it so like kind of dumb, like he doesn't put any thought into anything. He just came into a lot of money recently. He just wastes his money like that. I just feel like he's just so funny to me. Like, he's probably like every scene that he's in, he just always kills it to me. He's like really funny. Yeah, but overall I like this season. I thought that the plot was interesting, especially when they got away from the Jack Barker stuff, but I felt like the ending was kind of a letdown. I also like the satire that they bring on the show. I like that it kind of keeps it interesting for me, somebody that's not really that techie, and I think that it's like really biting on that whole like tech world. And I do love the characters and actors on the show a lot. They routinely kill the show. Like, they're just really funny on a regular basis. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I didn't think it was the best season of like television out there, but I felt like it was a pretty good season of Silicon Valley. I feel like a pretty good season of Silicon Valley is better than a lot of the shows that are out right now. So what did you guys think? Have you heard of Silicon Valley? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments what you thought, and thanks for watching. Thanks guys. Bye.